Welcome everyone to our NIS America panel. I'm Laura, one of the PR coordinators at NISA.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm one of the content moderators here at NISA, and today we're going to be talking about some of our upcoming releases. We're going to talk about an exciting new localization announcement. We're actually going to see some gameplay from that localization announcement. But for right now, we're going to talk a little about what we've been doing lately. We've been working from home lately. All of NISA has fully transitioned to working from home, working safely and diligently to bring you the titles you love. We're just doing it from home now. And how's that going, Laura?
I think it's been going pretty nice. You know, I like not driving.
Yeah, avoiding the commute here in California is a pretty big plus. So I'm enjoying it myself as well.
Can't avoid the heat, though.
No.
Cannot avoid the heat.
No getting around that. Anyway, besides that, I think we'll hop right into some trailers, huh, Laura?
All right, let's take a look at our October lineup.
Gotta have guts, dude! Ouch! Yeah, dude! I'm the main character, dude! Here I go, dude! Get out of my way! I'll give it my all, dude! This is bad, dude! I can do it, dude! Right shot, dude!
We need to find out what happened in Heimdall that day, and what they're planning now.
Whatever it is, it must have something to do with what's going on behind the scenes in Erebonia. I still don't understand why that data from Heimdall was sent here of all places.
It's simple, really.
What I got? Popcorn! Wheel of time!
I will not falter again! Ready? Phantom Ray!
It's time we entertained our guests. Let the party begin. I do hope you enjoyed yourself.
Let's finish this! Dragon Ball!
I'm just getting started! Omega Impulse! Fire!
It ends here! Rising Sun!
Let us begin. Come forth from the heavens and shine upon us! Aura Rain! Hope you're ready. Ether Strike!
About time I got this started.
Eat Steel! Berserker!
I think I can use the 7 points to find out where their teacher is. Cheer up, guys! Cherubic Smile!
I don't know if I'd call us heroes exactly, but we'll help out in any way we can.
Now that we have this, we've got a long road ahead of us.
There's no way we're letting this world come to an end.
We'll change this world's fate!
And now it's time to show them what we're made of.
We can definitely do this.
If we weren't sure of ourselves before, we definitely are now.
The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 4. In a world ablaze with war, heroes must unite.
right, so that is our October lineup. We have 3 games coming out in
Yeah.
October. So the first one we just wanted to go over really quickly is Prinny When 2 Exploded and Reloaded by Nippon Ichi Software. And it is our Nintendo Switch exclusive coming out October 13th. So it's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming out really fast.
A little less than a month, I think, from now. And then guys
About
get
so.
ready. Yep. So this is a remaster of the original PSP version, now available on a wider scale. There will be French text if you guys are interested in playing it in French. Prinny, of course, will have it on cart day 1. Prinny 2 is going to get a patch a bit later. And just for content in this, it includes all bonus stages, both Prinny 1 and 2, and special weapons DLC. Only Prinny 2 at the moment, and if you want to pick these up separately, say you have one already on PSP, but you want to get one of them on Nintendo Switch, they are available separately and digitally on the eShop. And just as a quick call out, because we love interacting with the community, we did have a really cool contest where we had fans kind of send us in voice clips and imitate a Prinny. We gave a bunch of different lines out. The fans were allowed to pick either between Prinny 1 and 2, but we did pick 2 winners, one from Prinny 1 and Prinny 2, and then we did put their voices in the game.
Yeah. So try to, if you end up picking that game, try to find the fan voice. They actually did a really good job, so it might be kind of hard to pick out which one is.
Sounds just like a Prinny.
But we've also saw a trailer for Trails of Cold Steel 4. That's, of course, the very treasured Falcom franchise. That's coming out October 22nd on PS4. And is following on Switch and PC in 2021. It's the Trails of Cold Steel franchise. If you've been exposed to it, you know what it is. It's that hardline JRPG genre that so many of you have been looking forward to. It's got new in-game summaries for talks 1, 2, and 3, so you don't have to worry about starting halfway in. It's got a bunch of new mini-games, poker, blackjack, there's like a shooter coaster ride, there's a pom-pom party. It's a lot of extra side game content's being added. You have in-game bonuses for bringing in save data from talks 1, 2, and 3. So if you've been a hardline fan, you'll get rewarded for it. And this is the hugest payoff of the entire series. If you've been invested in the story of any of these games, whether it be the Crossbell series or just the mainline Trails of Cold Steel series, you really need to pick it up. It's got an immersive universe, an awesome storyline, incredible world building. If you're into any kind of JRPG, this is the franchise for you to get into. And it's got a really good soundtrack, too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's basically an end to this wretched fairy tale.
That's
Pick it up, guys. I know you guys want to know what happened.
We know you need to know what happened. And then we have Mad Red Dead, the rhythm platformer that's going to be coming out from Nippon Ichi Software. October 30th, coming out for Switch and PS4. So another one that's coming up real fast. And we're going to run a demo contest with a lot of really cool prizes. We also have a dance challenge between us, NISA, Nippon Ichi Software America, and our sister studio, Nippon Ichi Software. So we pitted each company to see who had the better dancers. And go ahead and check out our Twitter at NIS America to see what each company brought to the table. And there might even be there'll also be a giveaway the next day. So if you're interested in seeing how well we could dance, check that out for yourself.
Keep an eye on our social media tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty intense. Also, if you liked any of the music that was playing in that trailer, check out our audiovisual trailer on YouTube. It kind of gives like a sound sample of what the whole
couple different
game's
artists.
about. Yeah, there are over 36 different tracks in the game, so you got a pretty wide library if you end up picking it up. All from some really well-known artists in the kind of electronic beat genre. It's really good. This is the best soundtrack of a game I've played in a long time. You have a lot of different options like practicing songs and sound tests, so you can really get the rhythms right for each selectable song. And once you complete a mission in story mode, you can actually revisit them, switch up the songs, and even play at a higher difficulty. So if you're one of those rhythm platformer junkies who really needs to challenge themselves, this is the game for you. But otherwise, we have another block of trailer coming up for our releases in 2021. Want to cue us off there, Laura?
All right, let's check out our 2021 upcoming games.
Let's check it out.
We finally made it to Balduke, the prison city. Forgive me for what I am about to do, but this city needs you. Come forth, my monstroms, and consume this dark night!
Witness the strength of the Crimson King! Leave it to me! Mow him down!
Here goes! Whitecap, reporting in. We can scale that wall using my gift. Yeah! Take this! Huh? What's the matter?
Doll here. Good day. Use my gift to reveal clues.
Huh?
Eviscerate!
Raging Bull is also peculiar.
Raging Bull, I'm raring to go. I'll smash through everything that gets in our way! Shatter to base! Who's next?
Alright, let's get this party started!
It'll be a walk in the park for my hunter's descent.
Too slow! Out of my way!
Things just keep getting weirder and weirder.
Renegade, let's get on with it already. Use my shadow dive to get to the other side of it. My time has come.
There is no going back now, I'm afraid. The wheels of fate are already turning. As the sentinel between the dark and light, I, Aprilis, herald the fall of this dusk. Unsheathe your curse and smite the darkness.
East 9, Monstrum Nox.
I've crushed riots, foiled breakout attempts, and sent all those who opposed me to the gallows. You will not succeed.
What is that old saying? There's a first time for everything. A problem is a barrier. A challenge is surmountable. The dominoes are just beginning to fall. We must turn the people against Ivor. We must investigate this at once. In the best interests of Welkin, I must do the unthinkable.
I'm lost.
We have no time for diversions. This could be part of an elaborate trap. I am discreetly hunting for allies within the castle. The list you provided me earlier is most helpful.
You're a traitor, Lucian!
The plague and the slug will break down our walls!
Everyone in Welkin Castle is counting on us.
Ivor, Lucian, they all led me here.
Never forget, I hold the fate of Welkin in my palm.
All right, so we have some pretty cool upcoming games coming in 2021 that we just saw there.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, so let's start with East 9 Monstrum Nox, coming to us from Nihon Falcom. It's coming to PlayStation 4 February 2nd, and Nintendo Switch and PC summer 2021. So just quick call out, since we saw a ton of cool characters in there, right?
Yeah, we saw a lot of characters.
More characters than usual in our latest trailer for East 9. But as you can see, a lot of them have these thing called GIFs. Which is what some of them use to do more movement-based things. So,
right.
you know, we've seen Adol do his ziplining before, but we saw a little bit more now with both the climbing the walls, the flying, that guy who just shadows himself straight into the floor.
A lot of maneuvering going on, like, throughout the dungeons.
Other than that, it does play very much similar to the East games, where you do have a bunch of different characters you can switch to, and they... depending on the enemy weaknesses and navigating the environment, there's also a ton of different side quests, as well as the main storyline you can do. But just a quick call out, this game was influenced a lot by Western fans.
Yeah, you guys had a lot to do with the construction of this game, its narrative, and its design as well.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the difference between East 8 and East 9 here, is that East 9 is very dark and gritty. It's very industrial now. There's a lot more vertical movement than just straight horizontal movement, which is also reflected in the gifts that these parties have. And it's also a little bit more open world. It's not really on the rails so much. It's a little bit of
very
exploration.
open. Kind of, it goes with that new environment. Like if you're exploring, you want a large environment to explore.
Yeah. So look forward to that. And just a quick call out, this is going to have French translation, and it's the same team that did Trails of Cold Steel 3's French translation. So look forward to that, my French friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, Fallen Legion Revenant's coming up from Yummy Yummy Tummy. It's coming out for PS4 and Nintendo Switch in spring 2021. So if you're not familiar with Fallen Legion, it's kind of like an active combat slash, you go into these big combat scenarios, and then kind of halfway through you're left to a different area where you have to be kind of a sly diplomatic person. It's a very interesting gameplay loop where you go in, you make some key decisions at your home base, then you're out in the field, and then you're making other decisions, and some decisions influence others, and some, are good for some people, bad for others. So there's a lot of different narrative paths. There's a lot of differences in the game. There's a lot of different ways to play it. It's a really big experience. There's also a lot of endings to go with those narrative paths. So if you don't like the one you did at first, you'll have to retry and go through again. We have some new characters coming from actually a social media contest we were running. We actually had a fan-created character be put into the game. So we're not going to say which one exactly now. You'll have to check the game out for yourself.
Or you can check our social media.
Or you can check our social media to see who won. Yeah. It's a tactical real-time RPG. As you saw in the trailer, there's a lot of kind of quick dodges, parries, blocks, responding to certain elements, enemies, using elements they're weak to. So you kind of have to plan out a little before you go into the field with what kind of characters you're going to use, what kind of spells you're going to choose, be a total glass cannon, just DPS everywhere, or tank it out with some heal spells. There's also been a lot of new improvements, like to the XP system from the previous game. It encourages a streamlined kind of process. There's a new alchemy system that's helps you create items that you can use both in the field and at your home base. And there's a new stealth gameplay segment. So when you're kind of doing all these Machiavellian little plots in your home base, you don't have to be caught, with stealing bread or whatever. So we're gonna move on after that to Sapphire, Saviors of Sapphire Wings and Stranger of Sword City Revisited. So these are both titles from Experience. Saviors of Sapphire Wings is a first debut here in the West, but we've previously released Stranger of Sword City here in the West, so this is Stranger of Sword City Revisited. So these are both dungeon crawling games made by Experience. If you played them before, you form your party, you have these team-based RPG battles where you fight different ranks of enemies. If you're familiar with this kind of genre, this is like what exemplifies it all. Saviors of Sapphire Wings is a brand new title coming to the West where you defeat your knight who's kind of can't crusade against evil, ends in defeat, and your spirit is reincarnated 100 years later, so you have to form a new party to defeat the demon overlord. It's some pretty classic stuff with some really great dungeon crawling gameplay. And Stranger of Sword City Revisited is a remastered version of Stranger of Sword City. So that's going to come with updated graphics, updated musical tracks, There's going to be more dungeons, more characters, more enemies, different traps, different tactics to use. It's almost a brand new experience. So both of those are going to be coming in in one package, and it's going to be coming out in 2021 for Nintendo Switch and PC.
All right, so we are going to move on to our new localization announcement.
Yeah.
So check out this trailer that we have for you here.
Check it out.
So that is our new localization announcement. It is Poison Control, coming early 2021 to both Nintendo Switch and PS4. Now we're going to take a little bit of a look at the gameplay, along with a very special guest from localization team who helped work on this game.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're going to check out some Poison Control.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back. We're here with some Poison Control gameplay.
And this time we're joined with our very special guest, who I'll let introduce himself.
Hey everybody, my name's Nick. I worked on Poison Control as the project coordinator and translator. So we worked together in a team to bring you a very interesting and game that I hope you all enjoy.
All right, so we are currently in the menu screen. Just a quick call out. This is a dev build. It is still currently in Japanese. Our localization team is working very hard to bring the English build to us, and look forward to more updates in the future for that English build. So why don't we start with kind of, I guess, who are we in this game, Nick?
Sure. So you are an unnamed protagonist. I'm sure you've never come across that before. And basically, you find yourself lost in hell, and you can pick between either a male or female main character, which doesn't really have an impact on the story too much, but it's a nice option there. And you found yourself, you wake up in hell randomly at the beginning of the game. And as you progress, you find out more and more how you ended up here and what this hell is. But basically, right after you wake up, a klesha, which is like the main name of the enemy in the game, appears and basically fuses with you into, you both share your same body, and that becomes the kind of secondary main character in the game, Poisonette. And you work together, and your main mission is that you're trying to get out of this hell, and by doing that, you're collecting stickers to have a wish granted.
Kind of see our stickers in the top there, but just to call out, we are playing as the male character. You will see Poisonette's suit. But kind of, I guess, what is this overworld we're into? Because this isn't our main stages here.
Right, so these are just basically like, they're different levels of hell, so to speak. So right now you're at probably the very first one, or second one. I think the second one, actually, because you just moved through there. But basically, it's the levels, the hells that you're going to be playing in. And you have to defeat a certain number of them, and then there's like a kind of a boss that is blocking off the next area that you need to get to. So you can run around and select the levels. I think you can interact with like a gift shop that you can buy an item at. And so it just kind of is a cool representation of the levels that you'll be playing in.
It's kind of got that interesting 2D effect where no matter which way you're walking, it does kind of rotate it towards you. But why don't we start going into one of these levels? I believe we'll start with a little girl and her dog, and we'll explain a little bit more about her. So as we're going into the loading screen, we can kind of call out a little bit of what you'll be seeing. So the first thing you're going to see is a lot of dialogue with Hegan Radio. So Nick, what exactly, I guess, is Hegan Radio, and who are our hosts there?
Sure. So Hegan Radio is a segment that appears pretty much before almost every hell, and there are two girls that work there, Midori and Kikiri, and they basically prep you for your hell. So they're kind of like your support team / cheerleaders / they like to watch from afar as you're dealing with all these problems. And so they read a fan mail which more or less sums up the girl's issues and why her hell was made to a degree, and like what you can expect to encounter. So it gives you a good kind of like preview of what's to come, and it has really funny dialogue and a lot of like joking and back and forth between them.
Like, unfortunately, Trevor and I cannot read Japanese,
No,
but we can hear it in their tone. They are very back and forth. It sounds like they're kind of ribbing on each other a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They like kind of have I would almost say a love-hate relationship in ways, but I really liked their dialogue. They're really funny, and so like you'll encounter them pretty much before every hell that you do. So they're there, for the entire game.
I could read that.
So there is a little bit of English in this game right now. They also regularly show these kind of like pictures or graphics in the beginning of these radio segments. And would you like to give a little explanation of what we just saw there, Nick?
Sure. So the premise like behind the game is obviously that you're in this hell, and other girls fall to this hell as well. And so basically in this hell, this little girl's dog died. And so she's become overwhelmed with grief, and she doesn't know what to do. And she kind of takes things in a weird direction without spoiling anything. But that her hell is that her dog died, and she's fallen to despair because of that.
So sad. Like, I'm laughing, but I swear to God, it's sad. Anyway, so there is a bit of a difference between, I believe, some girls that may still be alive and some that are not. Would you like to tell us what our status of this girl might be?
Yeah, so this one luckily is still alive.
That's good.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know, and you have to find out while you're playing it. Sometimes the Hegan Radio girls will tell you that they're dead, or they think they're dead, but they're not sure. And if they're dead, their hell is going to be a little bit harder. The enemies are going to be a little bit tougher. So
a little bit more despair when you're dead.
Yeah.
I would too, honestly.
So this is our world for our little girl with her unfortunate dog. It's a very dark world. Like, it's horrifying compared to some of the levels, or one of the levels we're going to see after this. But all the levels also are a little bit themed, so I guess kind of what are we going to see in this world specifically?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of dog-related themes going on. Like, you're going to see the enemy right there, which we call them klesha, which means poison in Sanskrit, and it has to do with Buddhism. But we thought that was a perfect tie-in to the whole overarching theme of the game. So that was kind of a dog themed klesha, and you're gonna see, I think there are like some dog skeletons and stuff, which is kind of awful.
There's one.
But yeah, so it really the hell really reflects the girl and why she's there, and so and like almost the entire sense of the meaning.
So we did see a little bit of combat there. You can see that we can trigger Poisonette to come out whenever we'd like to. She does have a timer of how long she can be out, and you'll use her to kind of clear the poison that's on the ground. Poison comes in a couple different colors, but we'll mainly be seeing pink for the most part, which is the normal poison. And you can kind of make loops with her to clear out all poison in the middle of the circle, whereas if you didn't complete the circle, you kind of don't clear all of it. So it's a good way to both clear out a lot of it, and it does recharge your weapon that our main character here is using. So if you're running out of ammo, you want to recharge it a little bit more, you can see the meter going up, you can fill it up with some more poison and use that against the enemies. These enemies are a little unique too to this world because they've got that little stuffed animal on them. It's awful. We'll see some other themed enemies. We also have like standing enemies, we have flying enemies, but we keep seeing these blue things around. What exactly are these?
So because you're in this girl's hell, these are what we call thought forms, and they're basically like memories that this girl has. And so as you progress through the hell, you'll run into them and you'll get a better idea about what happened to her in the past and how she kind of fell to despair, fell to hell, and you get to find out more of her story, so to speak. So you'll encounter her and also other characters or like people in her life that were integral to basically bringing her to this point.
Kind of like following a quest system almost. So one of the other things I wanted to call out for this combat is you can also use the poison to stun enemies. You might see Trevor doing that occasionally. If they get caught in the circle, you can stun them for a little bit. As well as there's kind of objectives you want to do when you get stuck in certain areas that kind of block you off from going any further. So you either have to clear all the poison, you have to defeat all the enemies, or something of that like. The world is so pink also. Yeah. There's a very, very heavy pink theme throughout Poison Control, but this level especially is incredibly pink. Alright, so I guess maybe without spoiling it, are we just trying to reach the end of her level to kind of find the last thought form, or is there a certain goal we'd want to do in this level?
Yeah, so normally it'll tell you actually in the right-hand corner. So like before it just had her and it said to purify her hell, but now it's telling you that you need to defeat it, this Klesha. So basically they give you like little goals that you need to complete, but overall you're trying to purge her hell. And in order to do so, you kind of have to have the background, and in the end you generally end up getting an item that's really important to this girl. And you can give her back that item, and that kind of like either brings her like solace or peace, puts her heart at peace, and you purge her hell. And sometimes the girls will be like way out of control and delusional and almost kind of crazy. So like, but by giving them back this item or talking to them, you can kind of talk them back to being more level-headed. So that's basically what you're trying to do here.
I believe this is just through my own playthrough with half understanding what's happening because I don't read Japanese, but you do get different weapons, which is potentially based off of finishing these levels?
Yeah, you do. I believe so you can get different like poisons and you get different weapons, and by clearing the hells you get these new weapons and poisons. So I think the more you play, the bigger your arsenal will become, and you can kind of you can equip it on the world map and change your style to see what fits your play style the best.
I think we can kind of see that Trevor does have an alternate weapon available, this 54 ammo one. And I think there's at most 4 you can have equipped, and then you can switch between them in the levels. We also saw that, oh yeah, you do have your special move. Do you know what that move does, Nick?
Yeah, I think it's like a stunning move, and it also does like damage for enemies that are close by. And I believe it's when Poisonette like rejoins your body or something, or you need like the radio gauge filled up before you can do it. Yeah. So it's kind of like an AoE attack.
I believe we also have sort of a recovery thing. I know Trevor kind of got knocked down there for a second there. Is that the butterflies that we were seeing in the bottom right corner?
Yeah, that is. And basically they also feed off of poison. So if you don't collect poison, not only are you not getting ammo for your guns, but you're also not feeding the butterflies. And so basically if your health goes all the way down, you'll pop back up. It's kind of like a life. But if you're not getting the poison, then they don't recharge, and you're ultimately you're making it a lot harder for yourself. Yeah.
But it's nice to have those extra 3 chances. Just don't waste them all, Trevor.
Yeah, I'll try not to. Embarrass myself in front of all of these viewers. I think this golden chest will actually complete the level for us. And I don't think we want to show too much off. So I think we're going to go back into the the overworld for a second.
Sure. And then we'll take a look at what I would consider one of my favorite worlds, and I hope it's your guys's also.
We're going to be skipping through a little bit of dialogue here, just so you won't really get much context for it. So we're just going to go straight into the Hegan Radio part.
Hegan Radio always has the cutest images too.
Yeah,
like every hell has its own. Just, it's so adorable. It's awful, but it's adorable.
There's one a little later in the game where it's like you chose the wrong difficulty in life, and it's like a JoJo character with like a mace and a lion on a chain. It's so endearing.
Alright, Nick, do you have a little bit of insight of maybe what they're kind of talking about right now for this specific Hegan Radio?
Sure. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so now I got it. This one is another fan mail, and basically it is about a mascot character obsessed girl, and she's like completely obsessed with it. It's her entire life, and she's going on and on about it. And then a problem kind of crops up, and she's wondering, like, she loves this mascot character, but there's something inside of it, and she doesn't know. Yeah. She's like, what is this thing doing inside of this mascot character?
I think you guys might be able to guess what the mascot is.
Yeah,
a little familiar to us.
Familiar.
I feel like I would turn into this girl at some point, because I absolutely love this level.
I feel like I've seen one of my coworkers jammed into that mascot costume.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. We have a giant pretty, and sometimes we shove our own employees in it.
Forcefully. It's got a padlock on the outside.
So if you guys really, really love pretties, please don't be shocked that there's someone inside of one. You might end up in hell. That's totally
seriously.
kidding.
That's some real baggage.
So let's get into this level.
Wait a second.
Nick, what is happening? I need an explanation. What is this?
Okay, so that is the mascot character that we just talked about, and they definitely look very familiar to a character that you know, and so basically the whole level is themed around them.
I just love how swag they look.
Yeah.
They're ready to party.
That's called drip.
Oh man. So we also have these things flying around, which you can kind of tell is a picture of their own face, but most of the levels have something similar flying around that's more related to their levels, but
yeah.
These ones are the best.
What are you talking about? That could not be more related to this level.
So we talked about how enemies might be a little themed, considering we saw the stuffed animal on those kind of dog creatures.
Wait, you're saying that's not the actual regular enemy design?
So what kind of enemies are we going to see in this level, Nick?
You're going to see their mascot character themed, and they're basically wearing like little hats and glasses, and then I think there are ones that look very similar to the mascot character, but they're not quite the same. Like they maybe are missing the hat and the glasses, and you have to only defeat the ones with that are the actual characters.
Oh god, the hats are so good! I love them so much. I need like a pretty helmet, just in general, for my own personal use. So, this girl is in hell, right? But she was also obsessed with these creatures. Are having these creatures around her, constantly surrounding her, actually a hell, or...
Yeah.
I'd enjoy it.
That's a good question. You'll have to play it to find out exactly why she's here.
Yes.
But
they're kind of intimidating, actually. The sheer amount of them just watching you being attacked.
Just ominous being around. They see everything.
Oh man, I've never actually seen kind of a redesign of. I guess they're not really called pretties in this game, huh? We should cover that. These aren't the official pretty, huh?
Right. It's basically a mascot character that is very popular in the actual world that this game takes place in. So in the mortal realm, the living realm. But they look very similar to Prinny, and obviously they drew inspiration from that.
They're coming at you with that hat. So these are also our standing kleshas. They were kind of the standard ones. I think they might be the first ones that you actually see in the entire game. I don't particularly remember if we're going to encounter some of the more complicated ones. But there are like gigantic kleshas that you'll fight that have armor, and they'll wreck your stuff, man.
They're really, yes, a lot of these, you get some really tough enemies.
That's my favorite picture. Also, her shirt is like a cat with like 8 legs, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and you know what? It's a little off-brand for her. You'd imagine she'd have a little Prinny or Pyrin shirt.
Pinrin?
Pinrin, yeah.
I feel the like sorrow of this Prinny looking back at her, just like, oh god, not again.
No, not this
I'm just a
chick
man
again.
in a suit, please.
Oh god.
Just a quick call out to Poison. I love her reactions that she has to things.
Yeah.
She just looks like she's freaking out. Actually, did we cover kind of her personality?
I don't think so. I'll let Nick talk a little bit about why or how exactly she is.
Yeah, I think you nailed it pretty much on the head there. But she kind of is a little sassy. Like she'll call you out or people out on things, or she'll be like, I can't believe that they're acting like this, or she'll like make jokes and comments, and she's just really because the main character doesn't really talk that much. Like you do have dialogue options later on when you're talking to her that kind of give the character voice, but she's like the main voice of the game, so she's kind of experiencing it in real time, and I think her reactions are really relatable.
So we kind of saw that little purple guy in the bottom. Are those different from the thought forms? They seem to appear kind of occasionally throughout the game.
Yeah, are you talking about like in the dialogue options?
Yeah, the dialogue one.
Yeah. So those are the other characters that are not the main girl. So basically, like any other person in real life that the girl was talking to, they're like kind of purple figures, and so that's how you can differentiate between the girl and then the other characters, and then they kind of have importance in her background and her story.
It's kind of like eavesdropping on a conversation she had with someone.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also just such a stark contrast between this level and the previous one, where it was just dark foreboding. You might think, oh yeah, that's definitely hell, but you were on like a street with a bunch of pinrins attacking us. They call them pretties. But just as a quick, I guess, not look, but I'll tell you about the other levels. They come in all sorts of different, I guess, colors. I don't want to kind of spoil too much stuff that's in them.
Every different, each level features a different girl, I think we should say. Oh, there's one of the giant...
oh, that one's bigger.
Yeah.
It's got a bigger hat.
I should say, yeah, of course, the bigger the hat, the stronger the enemy. The classic video game term. But each different level features a different character, for the most part, and each of these... characters have a kind of their own baggage or their own issues, and that are kind of reflected in the. Yeah.
So you'll see a good variety of worlds.
Yeah,
especially with
quite a bit.
The street here.
I think this one happens to be a little more
wackier.
noteworthy. Yeah.
It's the best world.
It's my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorites.
One of the things we probably won't see... Oh, there's a flying enemy, too.
Yeah, here's some of the flying enemies, which are kind of like the fodder enemies that are, you really have to, like, focus fire on them, or
and this is the best music, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the things we might not actually see in this level, as we've already, like, completed level 4, I'm not sure if it reappears, but there is kind of a level-up system. If you've played the Princess Guide, it's kind of similar to that. But Nick, do you want to give us a little bit of insight into kind of how your conversations with Poisonette can level up certain aspects, and maybe what those aspects are?
Yeah, sure. So basically at the end of the level, you have a heart-to-heart conversation with Poisonette, and you can kind of get like more background information on her. Like you can be really kind of like playful, almost flirtatious with her, or you can be like mean to her, and your choices are directly correlated to a stat that because you're sharing this body with her, and it's basically like your body is becoming more in tune with each other, like your souls are becoming more in tune with each other. So based on your answers, like your certain stat will increase, and I believe there are like 5 or 6 stats you can choose from, and so each time there's this heart-to-heart, you'll get 3 options, and that will reflect to these stats.
And like, not to spoil, but does that influence the ending at all?
So there are actually a number of endings to this game. So I don't want to spoil too much, but I think it may influence one ending, and it might be a little hard to find actually. But
so that's just a hint for you guys. If you guys want to play the game, find all the endings. We're just letting you know it's an option.
Yeah, and I really love the dialogue varies too. So like, and it can be ridiculous or it can be like really serious, and I like to kind of see her reaction, because you can like really kind of like give her a hard time, and she'll even call you out on it. when you do.
She has the best reaction faces too.
Yeah, I love her shocked, like her little shocked
Yeah,
face.
with her arms like up in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but when we're actually firing, she is on our shoulder there.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, she's tiny. Oh, I just got whacked. But if you hit an enemy, yeah, for every shot you do, she does a little fist bump in the air.
It's so adorable.
Yeah, it's so adorable.
I didn't even notice that the first time because it's just like, you know, you
so focused
can
on-
get mobbed by
yeah.
a lot of enemies. Like, our first level was pretty tame, but this one does... Oh no, our
Whoops.
lights!
Lights.
Sorry, we forgot that our lights were on a timer and we were...
No, it's the rolling blackouts in California
Yeah,
right now.
except our stream didn't die.
Can't be helped, guys. Sorry about that. Definitely not our fault at all.
Anyways, you can get mobbed pretty bad in this game. If you're not careful or
Yeah.
say you don't have the right ammo. Because some guns I do think are better in other
Yes,
situations.
absolutely.
The default gun you're using is always good, just in general for taking out individual enemies. But there's some that fire a lot more, some that
Yeah.
fire one really strong bolt.
Some you have to charge, some do like scatter shots.
And
This level, like, it really does fit into the aesthetic of like a crowded theme park. But this is definitely one of the levels that you can get easily mobbed with a lot of kind of weaker enemies. You'll notice that one or two shots to the pretty hat, which is something I'd never thought I'd say before, will put down one of these enemies. Yeah, just one shot to the pretty hat and they're down.
You break them.
Yeah, you break them. And if my pretty hat got shot, I would be pretty broken too. But I can't blame them. Yeah, there's enemies just like appearing behind me and everything like that.
So we do occasionally see that there's coins everywhere. I'm assuming we can use those in our little gift shop.
Yeah, I think the coins are like there's money, which I believe are called B, and then there are also they almost look like poker chips, but you have to gather a number of them to use a certain weapon, I think, or a certain poison in the level first.
I just like watching these enemies go down. It's a really satisfying gameplay when you see a bunch of coins pop out of an enemy.
It's such a visceral reaction of just like, oh boy, coins.
I mean, I also get that with clearing the poison.
Yeah, that's
It's like I want to clean it.
You'll see. Like I've been pretty guilty here of being pretty OCD. Like, okay, I missed a spot.
Yeah, I want it to be super clean. It's very similar to other games. Some of the other poison that we haven't seen yet, I believe it's maybe like a bluish or purple.
Mm-hmm. The returning poison.
Yeah, you clean it and it's poison that just keeps coming back, and it's upsetting because I want to clean the level.
It needs to be perfect.
I believe there's also a red poison, but I wasn't too sure what that did. If you had insight into that, Nick.
I believe the poisons kind of they directly correlate to like how much of a delusion or like how much in despair the girl is. So I think the red might be like the deepest, and so you may not see that until the later levels in the game where you're really getting to like serious issues. But I think the pink is, like you said, they're kind of like base poison that the first few levels start out with. So you'll see like different colors, and sometimes they'll be like on top of each other. So it'll kind of make it a little more difficult to purge or clean up.
Especially with the blue one, because you clean up a large swath of area, say of pink, red, and blue, and then you forget where the blue one was, and then you step into it and it reappears right underneath your feet.
Whoops.
There's a couple enemies that actually spit poison too, don't they? They're kind of interesting and hidden throughout the levels.
Yeah, the enemies they're all over the place.
I feel the anxiety of you running out of ammo, Trevor, especially when you're shooting the enemies and then you start shooting and there's nothing.
Oh no! Click, click, click.
You can just switch to so sometimes I just switch to my other weapon for a quick kill.
I don't want to waste the special bullets.
Okay, but if you played better.
And what if I came up against a big enemy though? I need to save the resources.
And then you just never use it.
Never use them.
Yeah, it's her freaked
I
out
think
face.
that last
freaked out face. So good.
That little spirit orb like that will actually complete the level. So I think we'll hop back into the overworld real quick. And I was hoping we could show off a little bit of the menus.
Oh yeah, the menus are super pretty.
Yeah.
Actually, the art style, Nick, if you wanted to go into, kind of, at least what it evokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is really big on being like stylish and really sleek. So I think that's really, you can see that in the menus. And then you'll see Poisonette in the background because she's always with you. And I think the longer you're on the menu, she'll actually talk to you and make commentary. So I really like that aspect.
She's always with you,
Yeah,
even in your
always.
menus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a little...
It's okay. We can't read Japanese, I'm guessing here.
So this is your little equip screen. So you see you have your Doku blaster right there, and you can change the tabs for like for different levels that you complete. You unlock some different equipment and all that.
It's a very floral kind of design, almost
very
Art Nouveau-esque.
Very flowy, kind of goopy, kind of.
Very pink.
Here's
She's
my
tiny.
favorite. This is my favorite screen of all time. It's just tiny little Doku Musume just like trotting along. And this is your stat screen. You guys talked a little bit earlier about how your conversations at the end of levels affect what stat levels up. So I'm not really sure what any of these stats do, but you can level them up.
You have the pictures, though.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like
So
you've
the
got
muscles,
life,
that's
maybe
strength,
smartness,
smartness. Yeah, depth.
Whatever. Localization is currently working on this. Unfortunately for us, we are illiterate on the Japanese front. But...
Just look at the little Doku Musume. Just look at her. That's all you need to see. Look at her. She's so cute.
So I think we'll probably wrap it up here for our
Yeah.
gameplay. We do want to throw out a special thanks to Nick for joining us. Do you have any final words for our viewers, Nick?
Yeah, I just hope you look forward to it. We worked really hard and tried to maintain a lot of the cultural aspects because it's really Japanese cultural centric. And we also, there's like a lot of call outs to like Buddhism and stuff in it. So if you're really interested into all that, and then you also just kind of want a really, I don't know, goofy, like some hells are really like feel good and others are kind of like really heavy. I think this game is for you, and I really enjoyed the story. So.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining us and sticking with our gameplay and Trevor's unfortunate getting mobbed by many
a tough
things.
level.
This game does get a little difficult, just as a predecessor
it
for
can
that.
get pretty challenging. But thanks so much for joining us, and we're going to do a little sun out in this. This has been Poison Control.
All right. We'll be right back, guys. Stay
Thanks so
tuned.
much.
That was our Poison Control gameplay showcase. This game is also coming out 2021 to both Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, so keep up with our social media for more updates to come with this game.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It was a lot of fun. But I've been Trevor.
I'm Laura.
And we're going to sign off. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Take it easy.